Welcome to Propeller Breeze, the show for student pilots, sim fans, and everyone chasing that first solo and beyond. All information in this podcast is for entertainment and general knowledge only. Always verify with certified flight instructors or regulatory authorities before attempting anything mentioned here.
Have you ever looked up at an airplane flying overhead and just wondered how? How does something that heavy just hang up there?
It does seem almost magical, doesn't it? Like a huge metal bird just floating.
Exactly. But, it's not magic. It's physics. It's this incredible, constant interplay of invisible forces.
That's right.
So today we're going to do a deep dive into exactly that, the four forces of flight. Our mission is really to unpack the mechanics, how it all works, and crucially, how you, the pilot, actually control these forces.
And I really want to emphasize this for you, our listener, especially if you're working on your private pilot license, your PPL, or maybe thinking about it.
Right.
This isn't just theory for a test.
Well, definitely not.
Understanding these forces deeply, fundamentally, it's critical. It's about knowing why your plane does what it does, how it responds to you. It's about safety. It's about control, real control.
Couldn't agree more. So let's get into it. Our source material, these excerpts from the four forces of flight, lays out these four basic forces acting on any aircraft. They're the foundation, really. But before we list them, there's a specific situation where they're easiest to understand first, right?
Yes, that's a really important starting point. The definitions we'll talk about initially apply to an aircraft in what's called straight and level unaccelerated flight.
Okay, what does that mean exactly? Straight and level.
It means you're flying straight ahead, not turning, maintaining a constant altitude, not climbing or descending, and holding a steady airspeed. So no acceleration.
Got it. A state of equilibrium, basically.
Precisely. In that specific condition, these four forces, thrust, drag, lift, and weight, are perfectly in balance. It's the baseline.
All right, so let's break them down. Let's start with the one we all feel every day, weight. We know gravity pulls us down, but how does that work for an aircraft?
Well, weight in aviation terms is pretty straightforward, conceptually at least. It's the combined load of everything. The aircraft itself, the metal, the engines, the seats, but also the crew, so you and your instructor, the fuel in the tanks, which actually changes during flight, and any baggage or cargo you're carrying. It's the total downward pull.
And our source mentions it acts through a specific point.
Yes. Critically, it acts vertically downward right through the aircraft's center of gravity. The CG.
Ah, the CG.
Yeah.
You hear that term constantly in flight training, especially weight and balance calculations. So it's not just how much weight, but where it's centered.
Absolutely critical. The CG position affects stability, control, everything. Even a small shift matters, especially in the light aircraft you'll likely be training in. And fundamentally, weight is always trying to pull the aircraft down. It's the force flight has to overcome.
Which naturally leads us to its opponent, lift. The force that seems to defy gravity. How is lift actually generated? What's the magic there? Or rather, the science.
Right, the science. Lift is produced by the dynamic effect of the air moving over and under the airfoil. Now, when we say airfoil, we mostly mean the wing.
The wing shape there.
Exactly. That specific shape, usually curved on top and flatter on the bottom, forces the air flowing over the top to travel faster than the air underneath. This creates lower pressure on top.
Bernoulli's principle, right?
That's a big part of it, yes. Lower pressure on top, higher pressure below pushes the wing up. But it's also about deflecting air downwards, Newton's third law, action and reaction. The wing pushes air down, the air pushes the wing up. It's a combination, really.
Okay, so it's the airflow interacting with the wing shape, and the source says lift acts perpendicular to the flight path. Through the center of lift, the CL.
Yes, perpendicular to the flight path, and also perpendicular to the lateral axis, the imaginary line running wingtip to wingtip.
Perpendicular to the flight path. That's interesting. So if I'm banking into a turn, my wings aren't level with the horizon anymore. Does that mean lift isn't pointing straight up relative to the ground?
Exactly. That's a perfect example and super important for you as a student pilot. In a turn, because the wings are banked, the lift vector is angled inward towards the center of the turn.
Oh, okay.
Part of that angled lift still opposes gravity, keeping you from descending, but the horizontal component of that lift is what actually pulls the aircraft around the turn.
So that's what makes the turn happen, not just the rudder.
Correct. It's primarily the horizontal component of lift. It shows how these forces are always relative to the aircraft and its movement, not just up and down from our perspective on the ground. But in that straight and level condition, yes, lift directly opposes weight.
Makes sense. Okay, so we're up, lift is balancing weight, But something's trying to hold us back, right?
Yeah.
It's drag. The source calls it a rearward retarding force. What's causing it?
Drag is basically air resistance. It's caused by the disruption of airflow as the aircraft pushes its way through the air. Think about the wings slicing through the air, the fuselage, the landing gear if it's down, antennas, even rivet heads.
Wow, even small things.
Oh, yeah. Anything that sticks out into the airflow creates drag. We often call this parasitic drag. It doesn't help produce lift, it just resists motion.
So it's literally the air fighting back against the aircraft moving through it.
Mm-hmm.
And the notes say it generally opposes thrust and acts parallel to the relative wind.
That's the general rule, yes. Parallel to the relative wind, which is the airflow direction relative to the aircraft, opposite its flight path. And generally, the faster you go, the more air molecules you're hitting, the more resistance, so drag increases significantly with speed.
But it's not always bad, is it? I mean, you need to slow down sometimes.
Absolutely. Understanding drag is key for pilots. There's parasitic drag, which you usually want to minimize for efficiency, but there's also induced drag, which is an unavoidable byproduct of creating lift. And sometimes you deliberately increase drag.
Like putting down flaps or landing gear.
Exactly. You extend flaps or gear to create more drag intentionally, helping you slow down for approach and landing, or to allow for a steeper descent without building up excess speed. It's another tool for control.
Right. Okay, which brings us finally to the force that gets us going and keeps us going. Thrust. The forward push. How's that generated?
Thrust is the forward force produced by the power plant system. So in the propeller planes you'll fly for your PPL, it's the engine turning the propeller. The propeller acts like a rotating wing, grabbing air and accelerating it backward, which pushes the plane forward.
Like an air screw.
Sort of, yeah. In a jet engine, it's about expelling hot gases at high speed out the back. But the principle is the same. Generating a force to push the aircraft forward. Its main job, to oppose and overcome drag.
Got to beat that resistance.
Exactly. You need enough thrust to counteract drag just to maintain a constant speed. To accelerate, you need thrust to be greater than drag.
And the source notes say it generally acts parallel to the longitudinal axis, the nose-to-tail line. But then it adds that little note. Not always the case. What's that about?
Ah, good catch. It's another nuance. While the engine is fixed, pointing along that axis, think about a climb.
Okay, nose pitched up.
Right. Your aircraft's nose is high, so the engine's thrust line is also angled upward relative to the horizon. It's still parallel to the fuselage, but now.
Oh, so some of that thrust is actually helping pull the plane up, not just forward.
Precisely. In a steep climb, a component of your thrust is directly counteracting gravity, assisting lift. It's not just pushing you forward against drag anymore, it's contributing vertically too. Understanding these interactions is key, especially when maneuvering.
Okay, wow. So we've got the four players. Weight down, lift up, drag back, thrust forward. But you said earlier the key is how they interact, especially in that balanced, straight and level flight.
Yeah.
How did that balance work?
It's beautifully simple in concept in that state. Thrust exactly equals drag. They cancel each other out, so your speed remains constant, no acceleration.
Okay.
And lift exactly equals weight. They cancel each other out, so your altitude remains constant. No climbing, no descending. It's perfect equilibrium.
The perfect balance.
Yeah.
But flying isn't just staying straight and level. We climb, turn, descend.
Right. And every single maneuver you make as a pilot involves intentionally unbalancing these forces for a moment and then establishing a new balance.
So you're constantly playing with this equilibrium. How do we actually do that? What are our controls?
Great question. Our source nails it. Understanding how these forces work and knowing how to control them with the use of power and flake controls are essential to flight. You, the pilot, primarily use two things.
The throttle.
Yep, power via the throttle. That directly controls your thrust. More power, more thrust, generally leading to acceleration or climb capability. Less power, less thrust drag takes over. You slow down or descend.
And the other main one, the yoker stick.
Exactly. The yoker stick controls the elevators, primarily affecting pitch. Changing pitch changes the wing's angle of attack, how it meets the air.
Angle of attack, that directly changes lift, right?
It's the primary way you control lift. Pitch up slightly, increase angle of attack, generate more lift, up to a point, of course. Pitch down, decrease angle of attack, less lift.
So if I want to climb, I don't just yank back on the yoke.
Please don't. No, it's coordinated. Typically, for a climb, you'll smoothly add power increase thrust.
Okay.
Then you'll gently ease back on the yoke to raise the nose, increasing the angle of attack just enough to establish the climb attitude and airspeed you want. You're increasing both thrust and lift's effectiveness against drag and weight.
It's a combination. Too much pitch, without enough power.
And your airspeed will drop, potentially leading to a stall.
Yeah.
Too much power without enough pitch.
You just go faster, not necessarily up.
Exactly. You're constantly managing the relationship between these forces using power and pitch. It's dynamic. It's why flying requires skill and understanding, not just rote memorization.
That really is the aha moment, isn't it? It's not magic.
Right.
It's this continuous dance, like you said, between these four forces, and the pilot is the choreographer.
That's a great way to put it. You're choreographing the forces, using your controls, anticipating how changes in one affect the others, and reacting to keep everything in harmony for the flight path you want.
So let's recap. We've unpacked thrust pushing forward, drag pulling back, lift pushing up, and weight pulling down. Understanding them individually, and especially how they balance in straight and level flight, is step one. It's the absolute foundation.
It really is. And hopefully this deep dive shows that real mastery, for you as a PPL student, comes from grasping the why behind it all. Why does adding power and pitching up result in a climb? Understanding the interplay of thrust, drag, lift, and weight gives you that deeper comprehension.
Which lets you anticipate, react properly, fly smoothly.
And safely. It builds confidence because you know what's happening. You're not just guessing or reacting by muscle memory alone.
So here's something to think about as you continue your training, for you, our listener.
Okay.
If this balance of four forces is key to just flying straight and level, how does deliberately manipulating them, unbalancing and rebalancing them, allow for everything else? Climbs, descents, turns, slow flight, even that perfect landing.
It all comes back to managing that dance. Every maneuver is a controlled adjustment of thrust, drag, lift, and weight. Keep looking, keep asking why. These principles are fundamental.
Absolutely. It's all there waiting for you to master.
That's it for this episode. Keep your wings level, your brain sharp, and catch you next time in the pattern. Thanks for riding with Propeller Breeze.